Rain soaked through my sleeves while I held the papers with shaking fingers. Ryan sighed. Stop crying, Lena. We already signed. I'm not crying, I whispered. I'm trying to breathe. Vanessa tightened her grip on his arm. You're making this dramatic on purpose. I looked at her. I gave him 10 years. She smiled softly. And I gave him a future. Ryan rubbed his temple. Please don't start again. I never started, I said. You ended it. My mother-in-law stepped forward. You should thank my son. He stayed with you longer than necessary. Necessary. My voice cracked. I was his wife. You were a burden, she replied. No family, no connections, no value. Ryan looked away. I waited for him to defend me. He didn't. I asked quietly, was any of it real? He answered after a pause. It was comfortable. The word stabbed deeper than shouting ever could. Vanessa checked her watch. We're late for dinner. I laughed weakly. Right. Celebrating freedom. Ryan muttered, don't twist things. I don't need to, I said. You already did. I handed him the final document. Here. You wanted clean. He hesitated before taking it. You'll be fine. I stared at him. You once said you couldn't live without me. He shrugged. People grow. Yes, I whispered. They do. My mother-in-law scoffed. Goodbye, Lena. Vanessa added gently, take care of yourself. I watched them walk away together beneath one umbrella. I stood alone in the rain. My phone rang. Mia. Lena. Did it finish? Yes. Are you okay? I laughed softly. I think I forgot how to exist. Come to me, she said. Right now. I will. I hung up but didn't move. Cars passed. Water splashing around my shoes. I whispered to myself, 10 years, gone in 10 minutes. A memory hit me. Ryan kneeling with a cheap ring. Lena, I'll always protect you. I smiled bitterly. You protected yourself. I stepped onto the street without looking. Headlights flooded my vision. Someone shouted, watch out. A horn screamed. Impact. The world spun and I collapsed onto cold pavement. Warm liquid spread beneath me. My breathing shook. I heard distant voices. Call an ambulance. Stay awake. I couldn't feel my hands. I whispered, Ryan. No answer came. Instead I heard rain hitting the road. I smiled weakly. Funny. I'm still waiting. My chest burned. Darkness crawled inward from the edges of my sight. I spoke to no one. If I could live again, I wouldn't love you the same way. Everything went silent. Then, I inhaled sharply. My eyes opened to soft morning light. Dry sheets. My bedroom ceiling. I sat up instantly. No. My hands trembled as I grabbed my phone. Date. 3 years earlier. Footsteps approached. Ryan opened the door. You're awake. You overslept. I froze. He looked younger. Unworried. Untouched by betrayal. I stared at him. He frowned. Lena. Why are you looking at me like that? My throat tightened. I whispered, what day is it? He chuckled. You hit your head or something. I repeated, Ryan, what day is it? He answered, March 12th. The day before he first asked for my savings. My heart pounded violently. He stepped closer. Are you sick? I pulled the blanket tighter around me. No, I said slowly. My voice steadied. I'm finally awake. I stared at the calendar for 10 full minutes. March 12th. I whispered, it's real. Ryan leaned against the door. You've been staring at that thing since morning. I'm checking plans, I said. You hate planning. I'm trying new habits. He laughed. Good. Maybe you'll finally learn budgeting. My chest tightened. Budgeting. Last life, that word meant giving him everything. I grabbed my phone and opened old messages. Every conversation matched my memory. Even the news headline. Same weather. Same politics. Same world. Different me. Ryan walked closer. You're acting weird today. I didn't sleep well. You always say that. I looked at him carefully. No guilt in his eyes. No distance yet. No Vanessa. Just the version of him I once loved. My stomach twisted. He smiled. I'll cook tonight. I flinched slightly. He noticed. Did I offend you? No. Then why do you look scared of me? I forced a soft laugh. I'm not scared. But I was. Not of him. Of repeating my life. He shrugged. Anyway, I might talk to you about something important tomorrow. My heart skipped. Tomorrow. The investment request. I nodded. Sure. He left the room. The moment the door closed, my hands started shaking. I opened my banking app. Savings. Untouched. Last time, it disappeared within weeks. I whispered, not again. My phone rang. Mia. I answered instantly. Hello. She paused. Why do you sound like you ran a marathon? I just woke up. Liar. You cry when you wake up upset. Are you crying? My throat burned. I missed you, I said. She laughed gently. I live 15 minutes away. Still. Did Ryan upset you? No. Then what? I sat on the floor. I feel like I got another chance at something. She went quiet. That sounds serious. Mia, if I made a big mistake before, should I fix it or avoid it? Depends. Will fixing it hurt you again? Yes. Then avoid it. My eyes filled with tears. So simple. Yes. You overthink love. Life isn't sacrifice competitions. I whispered, what if someone expects me to give everything? Then they don't love you, she said firmly. Silence stretched between us. She asked softly, are you happy? I looked toward the door Ryan had exited. No. Do you want to be? Yes. Then choose yourself this time. Tears slid down my face. I don't know how. Start small, she said. Say no once. I laughed weakly. That sounds harder than dying. Try it tomorrow. Tomorrow. The word echoed. I wiped my eyes. Stay on the phone with me. Of course. We talked about nothing for a while, food, TV, her job, but my breathing slowly calmed. Before hanging up she said, whatever you're facing, you're not alone. I know. And for the first time, I believed it. I stood and looked at my reflection. Same face. Different eyes. I spoke quietly, this life isn't about loving him. My voice steadied. It's about saving me. Ryan poured coffee and placed a cup in front of me. I've been thinking, he said casually. I held the mug without drinking. About. My company has an opportunity. Short-term investment, high return. My heartbeat slowed instead of racing. I already knew this script. How much? I asked quietly. He smiled. All your savings. Just temporarily. I looked straight at him. No. Silence. He blinked. You didn't even ask details. I don't need them. His tone hardened. You don't trust me. I took a breath. Trust isn't giving everything blindly. You're my wife. And this is my money. He leaned back. You've never talked like this. I'm learning. His jaw tightened. It's for our future. I shook my head. It's for your risk. So you won't help me. I didn't say that. I said not like this. His eyes cooled. I see. That look. I remembered it. The first crack in love. I stood. I hope your business succeeds. That's it, he asked. Yes. I walked away before my voice could shake. Inside the bedroom, my hands trembled anyway. I whispered, one no, and everything changed. I opened my laptop and searched quietly. Personal accounts, job listings, resume templates. My reflection in the screen looked unfamiliar. I need my own life. Hours later, I entered a small finance office for an interview. A woman greeted me with bright energy. "You must be Lena." "I'm Sophie." I smiled nervously. "Nice to meet you." She grinned. "Relax. We're normal humans here, not judges." I laughed softly. "Good. I forgot how interviews work." She tilted her head. "Career break." "Marriage break," I replied. She didn't pry. "Well, we value effort more than experience." Another man joined us, calm and observant. Sophie straightened. "Mr. Hayes, visiting investor." He nodded. "Just Daniel is fine." I sat across from them. Daniel glanced at my resume. "You handled household finances." "Yes." "Explain this projection you wrote." I hesitated. "It's basic risk balancing." He pushed a paper toward me. "Then fix this portfolio." Numbers blurred briefly, then settled into patterns. I picked up a pen. "These expenses bleed cash flow. Short-term loans hide the loss." Sophie leaned closer. "So, cut 2 departments, renegotiate supplier contract, shift to subscription model." Daniel watched silently. "Why?" "Because emotional decisions ruin businesses," I said before thinking. The room went quiet. I swallowed. "Sorry." He shook his head. "No. Continue." I explained every step slowly. When I finished, Sophie smiled widely. "You're hired in my heart already." Daniel added, "You understand value." No one had ever said that to me before. Not about me. Not about my mind. I felt something warm but unfamiliar. Pride. I whispered, "Thank you." As I left the building, my phone buzzed. "Ryan, we need to talk tonight." I stared at the message. For the first time, I didn't feel fear. I typed back, "I'm busy." Then I opened my new bank account confirmation email and smiled softly. I prevented the first betrayal, I said to myself. Ryan adjusted his tie while checking the mirror. "You're coming tonight, right?" he asked. I said I would. He smiled slightly. "It's important, clients. Try to be social." I nodded. "I can do that." Inside, my stomach tightened. I already knew what night this was. The restaurant lights glowed warm, conversations low and polite. I walked beside him quietly. Then I saw her. Vanessa. Holding a wine glass, laughing softly. 3 years too early. My steps paused for half a second. Ryan noticed. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." She turned and met his eyes immediately, like fate was scripted. Her smile widened. "Ryan Blake. From the conference last month." He blinked. "Yes. Vanessa, right?" I watched them shake hands. Her fingers lingered. "I didn't expect to see you again so soon," she said gently. Ryan chuckled. "Small world." I spoke calmly. "I'm Lena. His wife." Her gaze flicked to me, polite but measuring. "Nice to meet you." I smiled. "You too." She kept talking to Ryan. About markets. About investments. About opportunities. I barely existed in the conversation. Last life, I would have panicked. Now I listened. She asked, "Are you expanding your business?" Ryan hesitated. "Trying to." She leaned closer. "I know people who can help." My chest hurt, but my face stayed still. Dinner continued. Her jokes landed only for him. His attention never returned to me. After dessert, I stepped outside for air. A man followed quietly. "You okay?" he asked. I looked up. "Do I know you?" "Kevin. Ryan's friend." I remembered him vaguely. "I'm fine," I said. He leaned against the railing. "He didn't tell you, did he?" "Tell me what?" "His drowning in debt." My heartbeat slowed. "How much?" "Enough to gamble relationships." I stayed silent. Kevin sighed. "That woman. She smells opportunity. I know. He looked surprised. You do? Yes. He studied me. You're calmer than expected. I cried enough already. He nodded slowly. Protect yourself. I will. I returned inside. Vanessa laughed at something Ryan said. I watched their reflection in the glass window. Perfect chemistry. Perfect future betrayal. Later at home, Ryan loosened his collar. She's impressive, right? Yes. She might connect me to investors. I sat on the bed. You trust her quickly. That's business. Not emotion. He frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. He looked irritated. You've been strange lately. I've been awake. He didn't understand. He slept soon after. I opened his laptop quietly. Passwords unchanged. Folders unchanged. Secrets unchanged. Loans. Overdue notices. Hidden transfers. I photographed everything. My hands didn't shake this time. I whispered, so this is the truth. My chest hurt, but the pain felt distant. Like remembering a wound instead of bleeding from it. I looked at his sleeping face. I loved you before you ever loved me, I murmured. No tears came. Only clarity. I closed the laptop softly. My love didn't die tonight, I said to the dark. It died long before I noticed. I placed the papers on the table. Ryan glanced at them while scrolling his phone. What's that? Divorce application. His hand froze. Stop joking. I'm not. He laughed once. You're mad because of dinner. Lena, grow up. I already did. He pushed the papers back toward me. I'm busy. You should read them. I said I'm busy. I folded my hands. I won't wait until you replace me. Silence stretched. He finally looked at me properly. Where is this coming from? Truth. You're overthinking again. I saw the loans. His eyes sharpened. You checked my laptop. Yes. That's invasion of privacy. That's marriage. He stood. You're being ridiculous. I slid a pen toward him. Sign when ready. I won't. You will eventually. He scoffed. You can't live without me. My chest stayed calm. Watch me. The door slammed open. His mother walked in. What's all this noise? Ryan gestured angrily. She wants divorce. Her face hardened instantly. Have you lost your mind? No, I said quietly. You're lucky my son married you. I know. Then apologize. I won't. She pointed at the door. You'll regret this. Maybe. Ryan crossed his arms. You'll come back in a week. I picked up my suitcase. I won't. He laughed. Where will you go? Forward. I walked past them. His mother shouted behind me. No man will take you back. I paused at the doorway. I'm not looking for one. Outside air felt lighter. My phone rang. Sophie, how did it go? I moved out. She gasped. Today? Yes. Do you need a place? I already rented one. She sounded proud. You're scary efficient. I learned from pain. That night my apartment was quiet. No accusations. No waiting. No pretending. I lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. I whispered, I thought I'd cry. I didn't. Sleep came gently. For the first time in years, I rested without fear. Morning sunlight woke me. My phone buzzed. Daniel, can you come to the office early? I replied. Yes. At work he handed me a folder. Opportunity, he said. I opened it. Chairman interview. You're capable. I'm inexperienced. You're honest with numbers, he replied. I hesitated. Why help me? Because you help yourself. We entered a large office. An older man looked up. You're Lena? Yes, sir. Call me Mr. Shaw. I nodded. Nice to meet you. He studied me. Daniel recommends you strongly. I glanced at Daniel. I'll try not to disappoint. Mr. Shaw slid a report forward. Fix this budget. I read silently, then spoke. Your expansion plan ignores risk exposure. He raised an eyebrow. Explain. I outlined corrections carefully. He listened without interrupting. After I finished, he asked, You're self-taught? Yes. Interesting. He leaned back. Promotion track assistant manager. Starting probation. I blinked. Already. You didn't hesitate with truth, he said. That matters. I bowed slightly. Thank you. Outside, Daniel smiled faintly. You did well. I exhaled slowly. My life changed in one day. He replied, You changed it. I looked at my phone. No messages from Ryan. For once, silence felt peaceful. I whispered to myself, I left before being abandoned. My first day felt heavier than any argument I ever survived. Olivia crossed her arms. So you're the fast promotion. I'm the probation assistant manager, I replied. She smirked. Same thing. I'll learn it properly. We'll see. She dropped a stack of files on my desk. Fix those before lunch. I flipped pages quickly. She watched. Too complicated. No, I said. Just messy. Her eyebrow lifted. Excuse me. These numbers hide a marketing loss. She paused. Show me. I explained step by step. She stayed silent longer than expected. Then she said, Lucky guess. Consistent logic, I corrected softly. She walked away. Don't get confident yet. That night the office emptied. I stayed. Daniel passed by. Still here. I don't want to be the weak hire. You're not. I feel like one. He sat across from me. Confidence comes after repetition, not praise. I'm trying. He pointed at my notes. You analyze emotionally. I lived emotionally. Separate them. How? Numbers don't care about past pain, he said calmly. I rewrote the report again. Hours later I rubbed my eyes. Better. He read silently. Yes. I smiled slightly. Progress. Days blended into nights. Coffee replaced sleep. Spreadsheets replaced memories. Slowly my hands stopped shaking during meetings. One evening my phone rang from an unknown number. Hello. Ms. Carter. Dr. Aaron Wells speaking. Yes. You requested old medical records. My chest tightened. Do you have them? Can you visit? At the clinic he handed me a file. I read carefully. Date matched the night I died. I whispered, This is impossible. He frowned. You were admitted unconscious. From a car accident. No accident report. Then why was I hospitalized? You were found collapsed near the road. My pulse raced. No injuries. Only shock. I looked up. But I remember dying. He studied me carefully. Memory can protect the mind. I shook my head. It felt real. He spoke gently. Regardless, you survived. I closed the file slowly. Outside, the evening air felt different. Not confusing. Clear. I whispered. Second chance or not. I have time. Next morning Olivia tossed another file. Late again. I was early, I replied. She blinked. Confident today. Prepared. She skimmed my report and paused. This projection is better. Thank you. She looked at me strangely. You don't act like before. I don't live like before. Daniel overheard quietly. Growth is visible. I smiled faintly. For the first time, their opinions didn't define me. My effort did. I returned to my desk and opened a fresh document. I said softly to myself, I won't waste this life questioning why. My fingers typed steadily. I'll use it proving who I am. Sophie rushed to my desk. You need to see this. What happened? She showed me an online article. I read the headline slowly. Blake Tech files bankruptcy. My chest stayed still. Sophie watched me carefully. You know him, right? I used to. She hesitated. Are you okay? Yes. And I meant it. My phone vibrated seconds later. Kevin, can we talk? I replied, lunch break. We met at a quiet cafe. He looked tired. He's a mess. I stirred my drink. I expected that. You warned him. No. He says you abandoned him. I met his eyes calmly. I left before drowning. Kevin sighed. Vanessa pulled investors out yesterday. Predictable. She won't answer his calls. I nodded slightly. She got what she wanted. Kevin leaned forward. He regrets everything. I stayed silent. But, he added, he still thinks you should have supported him. A small breath escaped me. Of course. You're not angry. No. You loved him. I loved a version of him. Kevin frowned. He keeps your photo in his wallet. That's memory, not loyalty. He shook his head. You changed. I healed. He studied my face. You really feel nothing. I thought carefully. I feel relief. He leaned back slowly. I don't know whether to envy you or pity him. Neither, I said softly. We chose different futures. Back at the office, Olivia called me into the meeting room. We're starting the harbor project, she said. You'll lead it. I blinked. Me. She crossed her arms. You solved the risk model. Daniel added calmly, you earned trust. I straightened. I won't disappoint. The meeting lasted hours. I explained projections confidently. Questions came fast. I answered faster. No shaking hands. No searching approval. Only clarity. Afterward Sophie whispered, you sounded like a veteran manager. I laughed softly. I felt like one. Later HR stopped me. Miss Carter, the chairman praised your leadership. The words echoed. Miss Carter. Not wife. Not attachment. Me. I thanked him and walked toward the elevator. My phone buzzed again. Ryan, can we meet? Please. I stared at it briefly. Then locked the screen. I whispered to myself, some endings don't need conversations. The elevator doors closed gently. For the first time, my past felt far behind me. Reception called me. Miss Carter, a visitor requests project funding approval. Send him to meeting room 3. I gathered the documents calmly. Mark from HR leaned beside my desk. Big client. Potentially. He smiled. You look confident. I prepared. I walked into the room and stopped. Ryan stood near the table holding a folder. His expression froze. Lena. I closed the door quietly. Good afternoon. Please sit. He didn't move. You work here. I manage this project. He laughed nervously. You're joking. I placed the contract down. Let's discuss your proposal. He slowly Saturday, I didn't know. That's fine. He rubbed his hands together. I came for partnership funding. I reviewed your documents. My voice stayed even. He searched my face. You're really the decision maker. For this department, yes. Silence stretched heavily. He whispered, you look different. I am. He swallowed. Lena, can we talk privately first? This is private. No, I mean, about us. I folded my hands. There is no us in business discussion. He winced. Please. After meeting hours, if necessary. He nodded weakly. Okay, business first. He began explaining projections, but his voice shook. I asked questions. Precise. Neutral. He struggled answering risk points. I turned a page. Your revenue stability is low. We can improve. Your debt ratio is high. I'm negotiating. I met his eyes calmly. The company cannot approve unstable partnerships. His shoulders dropped. So that's it. Based on data, yes. He stared at me. You rejected me just like that. I evaluated you. He whispered, you used to believe in me. This isn't belief. It feels personal. It isn't. He laughed bitterly. You really changed. I learned. Mark knocked lightly and entered. Everything all right? Yes, I said. We're concluding. Mark glanced between us, surprised but silent. Ryan stood slowly. Can we talk now? I nodded and walked him outside the office corridor. He spoke first. I'm sorry. I waited. I was stupid, he continued. I lost everything. I said quietly, I know. You knew it would fail. I knew risk. He ran a hand through his hair. I thought you'd always support me. I supported you, not your choices. He looked at me desperately. Can we start over? I held his gaze. This is business now. Pain flashed across his face. I mean personally, he insisted. I don't. Silence hung heavy. He whispered, you don't feel anything. I answered honestly. I feel peace. His eyes reddened slightly. I never imagined standing below you. I never imagined standing without you, I replied. He lowered his head. I rejected your proposal professionally, I added gently. And personally, he asked. I stepped back. Already decided. He nodded slowly and turned away. Mark approached me quietly after Ryan left. That was intense, he said. Just work. He looked impressed. You handled power well. I exhaled softly. I handled closure. Through the window, I watched Ryan leave the building alone. For the first time, I didn't follow. My phone rang late at night. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Then I answered. Hello. A hesitant voice spoke. Miss Lena. Yes. I'm Grace. I used to work at your old house. I sat upright. Grace. You remember me? Of course. Are you all right? She exhaled shakily. I've wanted to call for a long time. My chest tightened. What happened? I couldn't watch anymore. Watch what? Your marriage breaking. I stayed silent. She continued, you deserved the truth. My fingers curled around the phone. Tell me. Miss Vanessa, she lied. My heartbeat slowed instead of racing. About. The investors. The deals. Everything. I closed my eyes. Explained slowly. I overheard her calls, Grace said. There were no real backers. She only pretended to support Ryan. Why? To control him. She promised funding if he separated from you. My voice stayed calm. He believed her. Yes. I leaned against the wall. So he destroyed us for nothing. Grace whispered, he thought money would come after divorce. And when it didn't, she kept delaying him. I almost laughed. Of course she did. Grace's voice trembled. I tried warning him once. What did he say? He told me not to interfere between partners. I breathed slowly. And you're telling me now because I heard he came to your company. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. Silence stretched. I asked softly, did he ever doubt her? Near the end, she replied. But by then you were gone. I remembered the rain, the papers, the emptiness. Grace continued, he kept saying you would understand someday. I shook my head gently. No. I'm sorry, she whispered. It wasn't your fault. He lost everything chasing an illusion. I spoke calmly. He lost it the moment he chose pride over trust. Grace hesitated. Aren't you angry? I thought carefully. No. Not even a little. I was once, I admitted. But anger needs attachment. And now? Now I understand. She asked quietly, understand what? He didn't betray me because I lacked value. My voice softened. He betrayed me because he lacked strength. Grace fell silent. I kept asking what I did wrong, I continued. Turns out, nothing. You were always kind to me, she said gently. Thank you for telling me. Will you confront him? No. Why? Truth doesn't need witnesses. She breathed out. You sound peaceful. I finally am. We ended the call softly. I sat by the window watching city lights flicker. No rage. No triumph. Only clarity. I whispered to the empty room. It wasn't my weakness. The past felt lighter. Not erased. Understood. And that understanding felt like freedom. The boardroom was quiet as I reviewed the quarterly reports. Sophie leaned over. Lena, the chairman wants to see you. I nodded. I'll be right there. Daniel followed silently. Good work on the harbor project. Thanks, I said, though my thoughts raced. Inside the office, Mr. Shaw smiled. Your leadership saved us millions. I blinked. I only did what was necessary. He chuckled. Necessary is rare. We're promoting you to executive manager. I froze for a second. Executive? Yes. You take full control of project approvals, budgeting, and team management. Understood, I said, keeping my voice steady. The promotion came with more than authority. It came with decisions that mattered. Later, Mark Bennett from HR called. Lena, a new application came in. Ryan Blake. I froze, gripping the folder. Mark frowned. He applied for a junior analyst position. I need your approval. I sat quietly, staring at his form. Sophie whispered beside me. He's serious. Yes, I replied softly. Daniel observed silently. Your call is important. I exhaled. I need a moment. Mark nodded. Take your time. I closed my eyes. It's not him I need to think about. Then what? Sophie asked. Morality. Fairness. Daniel's voice was calm. You understand the impact. I reopened the folder. Ryan's resume was honest. Simple. No exaggerations. Nothing manipulative. I whispered to myself, he didn't deserve the disasters he caused, and he doesn't deserve to be punished here. Mark cleared his throat. Decision. I glanced at Sophie, then Daniel. Approve. Mark raised an eyebrow. Really? Yes, I said firmly. Fairness isn't revenge. It's just fairness. He handed me a confirmation form. Not many would. I nodded. This isn't about gratitude or anger. It's about opportunity earned. Sophie looked skeptical. You're sure? I am, I said softly. The same rules apply to everyone. Later that day, Ryan appeared in the department, unaware of who I had become. Hi, I'm Ryan Blake, he said nervously. I smiled politely. Welcome, Mr. Blake. Your training schedule starts Monday. He blinked. Wait, you approve me? Yes, I said calmly. You meet the criteria. Nothing more, nothing less. He nodded slowly, swallowing. Thank you. I'll work hard. I expect that, I replied, voice even. Sophie whispered, that must feel strange. I won't let feelings decide policy, I said. Hours later, I sat in my office overlooking the city. I reflected quietly. Power doesn't need revenge to be satisfying. Daniel appeared at the door. Impressive restraint. I wanted justice, not punishment, I said. He nodded. Not everyone could separate emotion from decision. I smiled faintly. I learned the hard way. Through the window, I imagined Ryan's uncertain steps into my department. No pride. No malice. Only fairness. And for the first time, authority felt right. I control my life, I whispered. And my decisions reflect it. The office was empty except for the hum of computers. A knock sounded at my door. I looked up. Ryan stood there. His suit wrinkled. Hair messy. Eyes hollow. Can I come in? He asked softly. Of course, I said calmly. He stepped inside. I know this is late. I'm still here, I replied, gesturing to the chair. He sank into it. I need to apologize. I folded my hands. Go ahead. I was blind, he said, voice shaking. I didn't see you, not really. I loved the loyalty you gave, not you. I stayed silent. Vanessa left him weeks ago, abandoning every promise she made. He rubbed his face. I lost everything. And now I realize. I lost the one person who truly mattered. You realize too late, I said softly. He looked up, tears threatening. Can we start again? I blinked slowly. Start what? Our marriage, he whispered. I'll change. No, I said firmly. His shoulders slumped. But I loved you, truly, this time. I shook my head. You never loved me, Ryan. Not the me that mattered. He leaned back. But you were always there. Always kind. Always loyal. That version of me is gone, I said quietly. He blinked. What do you mean? The woman who loved you died that night, I said. Even if my body survived, she didn't come back. I don't understand, he whispered. You'll understand when someone shows loyalty without fear, without sacrifice forced by your whims. His face fell. I thought we could fix it. Fix what? I asked softly. The trust you broke. The decisions you made. The choices you abandoned me for. He swallowed hard. I thought love could fix mistakes. I leaned back. Love doesn't fix selfishness. He closed his eyes. I see that now. I forgave, I said slowly. But forgiving isn't forgetting. And it isn't returning to the past. He exhaled sharply. So, there's no chance. No chance, I said firmly. His hands clenched. I ruined everything. You did, I agreed. He whispered, I'm sorry, Lena. Truly. I know, I replied. Silence stretched. Only the faint hum of the computers filled the room. Finally, he stood. I should go. Yes, I said calmly. Go. Live your life. Learn from it. He hesitated at the door, then nodded once. Goodbye. I watched him leave. The click of the closing door felt heavier than any argument or betrayal. I whispered to the empty office. The woman who loved him, she died. And so did the fear of loving someone unworthy. I sat back, hands folded on my desk. For the first time, my heart stayed quiet. No longing. No regret. Only clarity. The night outside felt still. Peaceful. And I finally felt it in me. The city lights flickered below as I leaned against the glass. The office smelled of coffee and paper, familiar now. Sophie peeked in. Miss Carter, the team is ready for your review. Thank you, I said, straightening. I glanced at Ryan's desk. He was already there, quietly logging in. The man who once held my heart now sat under my supervision. He looked up briefly. I nodded politely. No emotion stirred. None of the old pain. Mark appeared in the doorway. Ready? I smiled faintly. Yes. Let's start. The team gathered. Charts, numbers, and projections spread across the table. Sophie whispered, You handle this like a pro. I learned, I replied softly. Ryan shifted in his chair. He glanced at me. A flicker of something, regret, recognition, but nothing more. I spoke clearly. First, the harbor project results. Excellent work, everyone. Let's identify areas to optimize further. Questions came fast. I answered calmly, precisely. Miss Carter, we need approval for vendor contracts, Ryan said carefully. I nodded. Reviewed. Approved. But track changes meticulously. His face tightened, but he obeyed. Later, I walked to the window again. The city stretched endlessly. I whispered to myself, this view used to mean submission. Now it means perspective. Sophie joined me. You're thinking a lot. I'm thinking about lessons, I said. About growth. About the past. She tilted her head. You've changed everything. I changed myself, I replied. Not to hurt anyone. Not for revenge. Sophie smiled softly. That's rare. I exhaled slowly. I survived betrayal, lies, and loss. And I realized the person I needed most was me. Daniel appeared quietly. Chairman wanted to check in, but he said you're handling everything perfectly. I nodded. Good. Thank him for trusting me. He left silently. The office grew quieter. The hum of computers filled the room. I reflected on my journey, the rain outside the courthouse, the car, the rebirth, the betrayals, the lessons. Every step brought me here. I whispered, I didn't win because he lost. I won because I finally chose myself. Ryan cleared his throat softly. I looked at him. Yes. He hesitated. I just wanted to say thank you for keeping fairness. I nodded. Everyone deserves a chance, Ryan. Including you. He swallowed and returned to his work. I watched him for a moment. Then I let it go. Not grudges. Not memories. Only the quiet certainty that I was free. Sophie tapped my shoulder. Lunch. Yes, I said. But first, let's finish these reports. We walked toward the team, confident, steady. The past felt distant. Not erased. Not forgotten. Just lessons that shaped me. I breathed in the air of my office, the office I earned, the life I built. Here's to self-respect, I whispered. And peace. I glanced at the skyline. I release the pain. I choose the future. Friends, work, laughter, calm evenings. A life defined by my choices, not by anyone else's betrayal. I smiled softly. This is my life now. And for the first time, I felt completely whole.